With us, and we're switching gears into the health sector, discussing regular striking of health personnel and healthcare delivery in Nigeria. Our guest is Oge Ikeme, a deputy director of nursing. She's in studio to give us her perspective to the subject matter. Good morning, Oge, and thank you for joining us this
Good
morning.
morning. Thank you for having
You're
me.
looking radiant, by the way.
Thank
You even look better in person,
Thank you.
if I'm permitted to say so. Okay, so let's just dive into the subject matter. Nurses gave out a 21-day ultimatum uh, for a strike action. And quite recently, in fact, I think it was very quickly, let me just scan through today's paper. Today's paper, that is... okay, so basically, okay, great. On okay, almost there. Okay, so I've lost it, but today's paper actually said that there's a dialogue ongoing, but there's been a disagreement between the nurses and the federal government, right? What actually led to this, ultimatum, given the fact that I think resident doctors also gave out their own ultimatum for strike action? Was it related, or what really caused this? Because usually nurses don't go on strike; they hardly go on strike, except maybe under the auspices of Juhesu. But this is just the nurses going on strike. What actually led to that, action?
Thank you for your question, and I would like to say that nurses, on a normal, we don't go on strike. Nursing is a work that has a lot of compassion for patients. Anybody can be a patient. Nobody has that patient proof
Exemption
or illness proof
Yes.
that you can never be ill. Anybody can be ill, and we don't really like going on strike. And for nurses to go on strike, it means that the complaint or the plea has been incessant. We've been asking for it, and nothing is being done. And it's just like pushing someone to the wall. When you keep pushing the person and we don't have any other way or any other thing to do, we just have to down tools.
Sure.
Because we feel that that's the only way that the federal government will listen to us. The strike, there's a plethora of events that we've already brought to the table to tell the federal government these are the things that we are lacking in the health sector. One is staff welfare. Another one is employment. We are underemployed. We have insufficient staffing. Another one is the salary. Another one is equipment. The world is going global, and it's not what we used in the past years. That is what we are going to use in the current. Things are evolving. So those are the things that we've been telling. I think we have like 15 different needs that was brought to the federal government. I think they did 2. I think 15 or 11. They did 2. 9 still outstanding. Then recently they brought out a salary structure by the National Salary and Income Wages and all that, and it wasn't favorable to us. And it's just like the scheme is just like nothing has been done. It's just like nothing is being done. So we felt that it's high time we embark on an industrial action.
Okay, so let's talk about the last point you just made, because you talked about staff welfare, underemployment, working environment, and of course salaries. And you said that the last scheme that was brought out didn't quite salary structure didn't quite over well with what you expected. Now, when you say it wasn't what you expected, my question is, as compared to what? As compared to what other salary schemes?
No, it's not compared to anything, but it's compared to the economy.
Okay.
We are not comparing with anybody.
Okay, good.
The economy.
Okay.
Just like that a pack of biscuit now is 500 naira. Initially it was 50 naira. So for you to give your child 50 naira, go and buy a biscuit, it's more like a mockery. A pack of biscuit is 500 naira. So when you now budget with the initial what it is in the market is a mockery. So we are not comparing with anybody. Nurses do shift. We run call duty. They are supposed to be paid in commensurate to what the economy is, and not with any other health sector. Pay us what, like if you're paying somebody, I pay you what can pay for your house rent, what can pay for your transport, what can fuel your car, what can pay for your children's school fees. How much is school fees now? The least school fees you can get in the labor market will be like 100 and something. So we want something that's commensurate with what we are spending. So you don't need to keep begging while you are working.
While you're working. All right, you will agree with me that there's been an upward surge in nursing admissions, and you find out that if you follow through that these young ones, they get into nursing to graduate only to just travel out of the country. I'm driving at the Jackpot syndrome. Now, how has this affected your work as a nurse, and do you think it is instrumental to some of the challenges you're having that actually led to the strike action?
I will say that the Jackpot syndrome is not really our issue. We have a lot of trained nurses that are unemployed. There are nurses in this country that are still looking for employment within the country. Most people that leave the country, there's an exodus of nurses leaving the country. It's not because of, basically, most people don't leave because of, they want to jump. Most of them leave because the working environment is not satisfying. The salary is not satisfying. You can't be talking with your colleague that is outside the country and the person is telling you the new thing that is being done. Have you heard about robotic surgery? And we are still doing an open and closed surgery. So that's what we want. If the country is good, I don't think anybody wants to live here. If the country, there's nothing like home. But we want the home to be conducive. We want the home to be in such a way that you get job satisfaction when you're working.
Absolutely. When you talk about robotics, I think maybe you're going too far. But can we talk more on conducive work environment as regards to what the government is able to do, but they are not doing? So what other things can you look at and say, okay, because this is not in place, where our work environment has become unconducive or things like that? Because robotics seems like light years away, from where we are standing.
Where we are.
Yes, absolutely.
Considering, okay, when we are talking about the things we need to work with, in developed countries, they have digital X-ray. You can just get it by the patient's bedside.
Point of care.
Yes. In developed countries, you have when you need, like now, in this country now, if you need, you know that there are some patients that have dialysis just by the side of their bed. But we can't have it here. You have to go to dialyzing room. So we are still far, but at least let's make it closer to what it is outside. Some investigations, you need some investigation, you have to travel to go and get those investigations. Why can't we have it here? We can do it if we prioritize healthcare in this country. It's a matter of calling something a priority. If we make it a priority, we'll get it done.
How has interdisciplinary rivalry in the health sector, contributed to some of these challenges that the nurses are facing? Because I do remember, I think it was in pharmacy that they were given a consultancy cadre, something like that. But some other health professionals said no, it's not, shouldn't be obtainable with pharmacy. Should be theirs exclusively. Now, do the nurses go through this sort of rivalry, and how has it actually contributed to some of your challenges in the health sector?
What I really say is a rivalry issue, because in health sector there's no particular field that is more superior than the other.
Okay.
In working is an interdisciplinary approach. we all work together. Just like saying that, okay, maybe your janitor is of no relevance.
Yeah, it's not relevant.
When this table is not clean for 1 week, you see the relevance. So we work together to get the patients the best kind of care they need. We need that interdisciplinary collaboration, and that's how we work. I don't think it's a rivalry thing. I think everybody is fighting for their own cause. If there's anything you have to do for us, do our own. It's not like we are peeping into okay, they did this for this person. No, everybody has their own
career path.
Exactly, and they're asking for what they want.
Okay.
So I don't think it has to do with something like
from your perspective.
Rivalry issue, yeah.
All right. So it's true that nurses hardly strike, but we can't say that this is the first time that nurses are going on strike. Now, each time that, and I believe you've been in the system long enough to have experienced at least one or two other ones. Now, would you say, or how would you say that these actions have affected your patients, adversely or otherwise?
Of course. The challenges and the downs of going on industrial action is enormous. Whenever we go on strike, there's increased mobility and mortality.
What does that mean?
Patients die. The ones that are sick, that are supposed to get health care, they don't get health care. The condition gets deteriorated. So whenever there's an industrial action, we are not happy about it, because we also can be a patient. We want to stay with our patients. But when you see that the government is not giving in with our demands, we lobby. We ask them. We bring it to the table. These are the challenges we're having. Help us, do this thing for us, so that we can have that zeal and that job satisfaction when we're working. And whenever we are back on strike, patients die. That's the morbidity. Patients die. In fact, we go on strike like we are turning back and like, am I leaving this my child behind? How can I leave this child?
Because you're already emotionally connected to some of your patients.
You want them to get better. And you see a patient is improving. You're looking forward to the next thing. And they tell you that you can't keep working. And you can't go against the rule.
When you say they tell you can't keep working, what exactly happens when nurses go on strike? Are there skeletal services, or is there a way your shift is restructured, or nurses are just pulled out and yanked out of hospitals?
Once there's a strike, everybody leaves the hospital.
Wow.
Everybody leaves the hospital. The patient is in the ward. The doctors can come in and work. Any other person can come in and work, but we are not there.
What do nurses do in the wards, really? Because we know what they do, but I want you to be explicit about it. Is it in giving timely medications, changing their sheets? What exactly do nurses do, of which when they leave, those things are left unattended to?
Okay, I will tell you that the nurse is like, is multi, how do I put it? We are the patient's advocates. You know, the doctor comes in, gives a prescription, we give the drug, we monitor the side effects. We know when the patient is progressing and when the patient is deteriorating. We call the attention of the doctor. We call them and say, this patient, I think you need to further investigate this patient. We are not getting the expected outcome from this patient. We are there 24/7. We monitor, we make sure the medications are working, we do the dressing, we do a lot of things. If we are the eye of the hospital. The nurses are the eye of the hospital. So when the nurse is not there, the doctor can't be there all the time. When the nurses are not there, things will go wrong. Because most of the time, it's us that the patient see as someone they can talk to. The doctor might come, we are on ward round, they ask questions and all that, yes. But we delve more into their, you know that some patient can be in the hospital. The problem is not the medical issue that you're seeing. It has some home issues. It has some social life issues. It has some issues. And it's, when you're interacting with this patient, you get those informations and you bring them together. When you're treating a patient and the patient has other things that is bugging the patient, you won't get a headway.
Regardless of the intervention.
Exactly. It might be the home front. Okay, take for instance, if I'm treating an asthmatic patient and back in the home, the patient is living where they are producing a paint company. The patient keeps coming in with asthma. But in the course of treatment, we find out where are you living, how is the home front, and all that. That is how we get those information. Without the doctor, we are treating this patient is going back to that place. So we need to do something further. So nursing is not just about taking the temperature, doing the dressing. There's more to nursing. There's more to nursing.
Wow, interesting. Has there ever been a scenario, because I know it has happened with other health workers, where they go on strike, their salaries are withheld, then maybe ad hoc staff are brought in to replace them? Has that ever happened with the nursing striking situation, or do you even anticipate it happening? And if it eventually does, what would be the way forward for the nurses?
We've lost 3 months' salary at one point because of industrial action.
You don't say?
Yes.
3 months?
Yes. And nurses cannot be replaced.
No, with community health workers?
Nurses, nurses. When I say nurses cannot be replaced. When we go through the university training, through the nursing training, you acquire knowledge, you acquire skills. And those skills is not something that you can just, pass on to someone else. It's called critical thinking. There are some things you see, the next move to do, what not to do, how to handle it. So if you like, get an auxiliary, get anybody, tell that person every morning you have to lift this cup, the person lift the cup. Why are you lifting the cup? No reason for that. But in nursing we have reason, the rationale. Why is this thing done like this? What happens if it's not done like this? What do you expect? Expected outcome. So all those things are what it entails to be a nurse. So it's not something that you can just get somebody to do. When you do that, they expect mortality. People will die.
So I'm thinking in my head, 3 months worth of salaries denied. How were you able, how did the nurses cope with the demoralization? How did you move past it? Is something being done for it to be paid, for the arrears to be paid? What is the situation really? 3 months worth of salaries?
Well, when things like this happened, it wasn't rectified. I can't place it now, but I think it wasn't rectified. But the thing is that we fought for what we wanted. And
did you eventually
got what we wanted?
So it's like you sacrificed, you got what you wanted at the altar of 3 months worth of sacrifice.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow. So moving forward, let's talk about the current situation with the government, the federal government, and the nurses. This is just coming right after the Super Falcons and their emergence as winners, and then we all saw the lavish appreciation. You think it was what actually sparked up? Because people complained, word on the street, the workers, the civil servants who are actually driving the nation, they don't get as much attention from the government. And Super Falcons, they win a tournament for the 10th time, and they are getting all these gifts, national honors and things like that. You think that was the spark, that ignited this strike action? Because it was the doctors, then the nurses, give their own ultimatum. What do you think?
No, I think it has nothing to do with that, because our case has been on the table. It has been a long-standing demand. So it wasn't because these people were given this that we are embarking on strike. No. We have been saying this, Look at the working condition of nurses. Look at the staffing condition of nurses. We need more nurses, and there are nurses outside. Employ them. Some are retiring. Replace them. So that people that are working will not have a burnout. So that people that are working will not break down. But they felt, I think it's just like a misplaced priority. Maybe the federal government felt maybe healthcare can be, maybe we can have a way around it. But I think the healthcare sector should be pivotal to the progression of every country. If our healthcare is not taken care of, it's just like saying that the country is dying. Yes. A sick person can't walk. A sick person can't be productive. If the healthcare is working, a patient comes in, the care that is required is given, the patient has a short stay in the hospital and is discharged, the person is back into the business. It will boost our economy. Even the hospital generates funds for the federal government. So why wouldn't they put in more into it to make sure that it stands? Healthcare is very, very important everywhere in the world. We can't overemphasize the importance of healthcare. So our strike has nothing to do with the people that were, appreciated. They did well. I appreciate them. They did well. I like what they were given. It has nothing to do with that. It has been a long-standing thing. I think this has been since 2015 or is it 2022. They give us empty promises. We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll do that. At the end of the day, nothing is done.
Okay, so while we're waiting or while the nurses are waiting on the government to do right by them, you work in a government hospital. What's the welfare package like for nurses? Maybe to keep them motivated to care for patients while we're waiting for the federal government to do the needful.
How can the hospital work without the federal government? It's a chain reaction. The federal government brings, the hospital gives us. The hospital cannot work without directive from the federal government. So that's why I want to let the federal government do the needful.
Okay. So usually in the hospital, like we've already established, nurses hardly go on strike, but then doctors do go on strike, and other allied health professionals do go on strike. And if that happens, they too are yanked out of the system. How do nurses try to cope when this happens, to care for the patient as much as they can when these other ones are on strike?
The thing is like, we can't do without each other. In health sector, every job is streamlined. You have your own job, I have my own job. We come together and we achieve a common goal. When the doctors are on strike, it affects our work too. Even when the janitors are on strike, it affects the whole place is filthy. So we can't say that we are comfortable when the doctors go on strike. No, their impact is felt. And the doctors can't say they are comfortable when nurses go on strike. Our impact is felt. So I feel that the federal government should, put in more efforts in funding the health sector, so that all these strikes will be a thing of the past.
All right. So when finally, actually, because we are running out of time, when nurses eventually strike, something just came to my mind now. When nurses strike, what happens to the health system? It sounds like a topic for a public lecture. So you may want to write it down. Okay, so when you eventually strike, there's a possibility that patients may leave the hospital to get care elsewhere. Do you think this can actually cause a spike in patronage of, traditional, medicine attendants and things like that? Do you advise your patients, if you're leaving, please try and go to this place, avoid that place? Is there any sort of, onboarding of some sort so that they can go to the right place rather than just leave themselves to, whatever practitioner or available?
You know that people seek medical help according to their knowledge and level of knowledge. Some people, even when the hospital is still there, they go to traditional medicine places. They believe what is happening to them is more of spiritual than physical. But people that already has the knowledge knows where to get help. I know when I get to the hospital, they will treat me, they will know what is wrong with me, and I will get better. You can't advise them otherwise. They already know where to seek help. And that is why when we go on strike, it's like they are disorganized. Though some might go to private hospitals, but you can't. You don't
have control over it.
No, what I'm saying is that you can't. The kind of care you get in private hospital cannot be compared with tertiary hospital.
Really?
Of course. In tertiary hospital, is just like you can have 10 doctors to see you, and you're paying for just one care.
Yeah.
But in private hospital, maybe I know how to take care of simple common surgeries, appendicitis and all that. When you have complication, they bring you to tertiary hospital. So the care is not the same. There might be other things that the patient will benefit from a tertiary hospital. It's unquantifiable. So when these kind of things happen, some of them, that's why I talked about morbidity. They go to private hospitals, the care is not the same with tertiary hospital. It's limited, that's the word. It's limited.
Wow, thank you so much, Ogi Keme. Do you have any parting shots, any advice to your patients, to your colleagues before we wrap it up?
Well, I will say to the masses in general, we are not happy we are on strike. We never want to embark on strike. And we are pleading with the federal government to listen to us ASAP. So we can
ASAP. I'm sure they are listening. Thank you so much, Ogi Keme. Thank you for your insights on today's show. All right, thank you for your time too, for staying with us thus far. Don't go anywhere. New Day continues after this break.
Get plugged into the heartbeat of entertainment on The Hub, your ultimate show on e-vibes. From trending stories and social media drama to top charting music, must-watch movies and exciting moments from the world of arts, we've got it all. Join us for unmissable conversations with your favorite entertainment personalities, plus fun segments every week.
So I should try harder. So
okay, I don't know that one.
Outfit of the day.
Oh, I don't do that. That's some Gen Z stuff.
Oh, now you say it's a Gen Z stuff.
It's everything you love about entertainment, served fresh every week at 1 p.m. with weekend repeats just in case you missed it. The Hub's on e-vibes, where the vibes never stop. Only on Signature TV.